Phillips and Andrew Wiebe. We are going to get you all set for Toronto FC hosting New York City FC. Brad, TFC this weekend going for their first win of the season at home.
Jill, it's a TFC side that, in the beginning of the season, we had no hope for them. But they've turned the corner. They haven't lost in 4. They get a good away win against RSL. I have to say, Robin Fraser's found a togetherness about this side. He's got Bernadeschi and Insigne on the pitch together. Conabo looks like he looks decent, looks like he's turning a corner, finding his form. I have them winning this game maybe at home, I have to say.
Wow, Brad. Flip side for New York City is they've turned the wrong corner into a dark alley of their season. 1 win in the last 5 games, momentum in short supply. The equation's pretty simple. Home equals good, 9 points from 4 games. Away equals bad, 2 points from 5 games. And there is arguably no better place to go right now, whether they've gotten results and momentum or not, than Toronto to get an away win. Now, incredibly, to me, what to watch is that midfield for New York City. They are still addicted to the game-making ability of Maxi Morales. And the midfield mix for Pascal Janssen is not exactly sure. In the last game, you've got Jonathan Shore, you've got Keaton Parks coming off the bench. Sometimes Justin Hack is pushed in there. They've got to find a way to figure out who the best group is and build chemistry and then get something out of Agustin Ojeda or Julian Fernandez. Both of those guys have been flopping back and forth opposite the wing from Hannes Wolf, and they just haven't gotten it done. But this game, sadly, I think has low scoring written all over it unless Alonso Martinez or one of those Toronto DPs pop up.
NYCFC looking for their first road win of the season. Meanwhile, the TFC side looks to get their first home win on the year. This game kicks off 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on MLS Season Pass.
Toronto, New York.
Partner of Major League Soccer, a win for Toronto. They pull within 1 point of New York City in the standings. A chance to revive the season a little bit, but New York City can send them right back to the drawing board as well. Kickoff is coming up on your MLS Season Pass.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Jameson, a famously smooth whiskey from a famously big family. So big that Jose here could be one of us. You see, he's nearly as smooth as our whiskey. For him, wrong turns usually turn out all right. Even when he shows up uninvited, he's never empty-handed. And he only ever drinks smooth Jameson whiskey. Surely he must be part of the family. Must be a Jameson.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Is this a bad idea?
It's a bad idea, right?
This is perfect.
Are you sure you're ready to buy a house, Mika?
We just want the best for you, honey.
I don't know anyone that owns a house.
Are you sure?
Boy, do we have a good one here.
Sunday Night Soccer, el partido que termina de la jornada.
Big crowd anticipated for Sunday Night Soccer.
Tuchar la está pidiendo Hart, la pelota la tiene, cuidado con esta. ¡Gol!
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
The cars, the house, stuff. When is it enough? 2 mortgages, golf clubs, SAT tutor, car payments, tuition, property taxes, health insurance premiums, plumbers, drum kits.
I lost my job. How long can I float on what I got?
6 months, tops.
These houses are filled with stuff no one would miss for a while. No one would ever suspect me.
What'd you get up to last night?
Not much.
MO party of 3.
Welcome back to Toronto for this Eastern Conference cross-border metropolis showdown between Toronto and New York City. Blake Price and Paul Dolan in charge here in the booth for the 12th visit to Toronto for New York City. But let's see who's in charge down on the pitch. The referee for today's match, Pierre-Luc Lausière. And you'll see he and all the officials wearing black armbands in honor of Julio Davila, longtime MLS referee liaison who passed away this week. And over at Mission Control, the head VAR is Kevin Stott, with Tom Supple alongside him. We'll see if they figure prominently into this match. Not a lot of goals between these two clubs. Toronto 8, New York City 11. But it's time for someone to step up. Sebastian Giovinco and David Villa are not walking through that door right now, Dolan.
No, although I just saw Sebastian Giovinco here, the all-time legend, former MVP. They're hoping they can get something out of Maxime Dominguez, who gets in here in the number 10 position. And for New York City, Maxi Morales, he's another player that can create. And Martinez is the man they're hoping can finish up front for New York City. He's a player who scored over a goal every 2 games in MLS, and throughout his international career, a fantastic front runner. Hannes Wolf, 3 goals on the season as well. They're hoping they can get a bit more creation from him to help Martinez.
The boys in blue in their light blue kits today, and the Reds, as you would hope for them on their home pitch, in red, as they try to again get the first 3-point day of their MLS home side of the schedule. The wind will be a factor. New York City working with the wind, it should be noted, here to start this opening half. Toronto working against it, and as a keeper I can only imagine, Dolly, what you're thinking Sean Johnson has ahead of himself when he starts to take his goal kicks.
Anytime we're down by the lake, you can see the flags whipping the wind. And yeah, those goal kicks are coming right back down your throat. So we'll see if Toronto looks to play out of the back along the deck, or if they try to fight through that wind and see what they can create, getting balls forward and more direct.
And right off the bat, Toronto working down the right side, trying to get that ball ahead for young Charlie Sharp. The big target in the box today for Toronto. Rosted stepping up. That for Osorio, who peels away. Petretta missing his target. Devon Gray backed against the touchline, had to play it backwards, and now Toronto will win it back on the throw here on the near side touchline. 4 unbeaten for Toronto. Again, not the most gaudy of unbeaten runs, just 1 win, but it is something, it is traction for them.
No, and the points that they've gained are against the best teams in the league as well. In Miami, 1-1. The Whitecaps 0-0. And they also drew here in their last home game against Minnesota before getting their first win of the season at Salt Lake. And those are the building blocks that Robin Fraser's trying to build here. Get the culture and the defensive side down first, and then start trying to play with the ball a little bit more, a little bit better possession as well, is what they're looking to try to achieve here today, and creating some chances.
Incremental progress down this touchline as we were talking. Now a chance for Petretta to perhaps get this into the box, and he is stymied. Has to just send that in quickly. Corbinu fighting against Gray in the corner. It's a rugby match down in the corner right now. Finally out for a goal kick. And Matt Freese will get his first chance to touch the ball.
And so they'll have the opposite, of course, with the wind in their favor in behind them. But you want to measure your balls, any of the long balls forward. And they do look to get forward every now and then to Alonso Martinez. He likes to toe that line and get in behind, into the space behind two Toronto FC center backs who aren't the quickest.
Ojeda down the left side on an awkward reception there on the big diagonal ball. Morales then gives it away, and Bernadeschi in flight across the center line. Diagonal run for Bernadeschi. Corbeanu, Sharp calling forward in the box. No release yet for Corbeanu. Bernadeschi on that left foot, far post, Sharp! First look for Charlie Sharp in the box, and it's a close one.
Well, when you're 6'5", he's a natural target to want to pick out. And Toronto with good breakout from the back. Corbeanu holding it up here, playing it in for Bernadeschi, who tees one up really nicely for Sharp, rising high, but just cannot get over it enough to head it back down towards goal. But a good first early involvement from the American forward, who comes in today in favor of Ulla Brynhildsen, who we thought might start here, and still having some injury issues, I believe. And Charlie Sharp did look very good in training, so gets the opportunity here today.
Robin Fraser has to be absolutely overjoyed, though. A build-up chance early here in this one. They scored early versus Real Salt Lake a week ago, but it was on a deep ball giveaway where Corbeanu just needed to make one move to tuck it in. It was second half before there was really a build-up chance.
Canada's the 60th minute before they got their first corner and their first real flow from the build. And they did what they needed to do to get that win, but Robin Fraser wanting to get a lot more in terms of actual build and possession.
Bernadeschi to Osorio. Tracking back. Nice play made by Hannes Wolf to dispossess Osorio in a dangerous spot in the midfield. Teams spins away from pressure. Gray under the press of Corbeanu. Ball's down the touchline, but Toronto gets the turnover they wanted. Roston. And poor pass from him. It's right back to New York City here on this near side touchline.
You mentioned the goal that Toronto scored was from Corbeanu at Salt Lake through the pressure, turning the ball over close to goal, and that's what they're looking to do here, TFC, as New York's been under a bit of pressure deep. They've been able to get out of it. But a high press coming early from Toronto. Again, considering that wind as well, you just want to get through this first 45 so that you have the wind at your back in the second, although that can play havoc too with your offensive tactics and the way you play with the wind behind you. You have to really measure your passes.
Good turn from Dominguez. He gets it back again. Tried to tuck that onto the left side for Corbeanu. It's off a New York City foot. Petretta. Sharp rattles around. Picked up by Dominguez. Tackled well there by young Johnny Sharp. Shore. Left side as New York City looks to have possession past the center line for the first time. But a retreat for Thiago Martins.
Two good defensive plays in the early going. First from Wolf to get back, and then Shore there defensively as well. Shore alongside Keaton Parks again to start. Parks didn't start against New England in their 2-0 loss there last week, and he was missed. He came on in the second half. Added a bit of spark. Of course, Game State changed that match, down 2 goals. They were pushing forward, New York City, but unable to break through. And it's inconsistency right now that Pascal Janssen is saying is hurting his team, and he wants to get his team on the same footing to start that flow again. He's got creative players up front when they can get in sync with that rhythm. Just haven't seen a lot of that consistency this year for New York City.
Through ball into the corner, and it's going to have too much steam. And it'll be a goal kick for Toronto. There's 58-year-old Robin Fraser back on the touchline for Toronto FC after some glory years alongside Greg Vanny.
Says this is a project still in its infancy, and he wants to try to recreate some of the environment that allowed that 2016-2017 team that he was a part of here at TFC alongside Greg Vanney, to be a team that can build that same type of culture, be a team that is attack-minded and creative as well. But first and foremost, it's get that defensive stability down, and Robin Fraser was one of the best in terms of that defensive side of the ball. And he's happy with the build so far in terms of players buying in, and that includes Lorenzo Insigne, not in the starting lineup here today, but not due to the fact that he hasn't been playing well. He's played a lot of minutes, and I'm sure we will see him later this afternoon.
Wolf intercepted. Another chance for Parks. Off a Toronto body. And then another first-year man. The Dutchman, Pascal Janssen, takes over from Nick Cushing. 52-year-old finding his signature on NYCFC. He's not really willing to give them an identity just yet, Paul.
No, but they want the identity of being a high-energy, high-intensity team, very attack-minded as well. New York City always does bring in and have those attack-minded players. But of course, again, you want to be defensively stable as well.
Down the left side. Cross isn't there. Good defensive play by Davy Flores. Backed into the corner. Ball isn't up for himself, but it will just be New York City throw.
Davy Flores has been outstanding for Toronto FC. 3 really strong recoveries in the first 30 minutes alone against Salt Lake, and a big reason why I think his help along with the back four. You see Flores even in that kind of back four right now as he drops back to support. A big reason that Toronto has turned it around defensively since the start of the season, when they allowed 12 in the first 5.
Maxi Morales over top of the ball. He and Bernadeschi renewing acquaintances. Morales, 102 MLS goal contributions. This second stage of his soccer career, spending these 9 years with New York City. All coming off the left foot instead, right in front to Keaton Parks. Got a piece of it, but off the mark.
And you just wonder how Keaton Parks didn't get a little bit better contact on that to direct it towards goal. It's good service from Morales, and it looks as if he holds the line there. They just need a bit of a glance there, and in fact it hits the shoulder rather than the head. And goes well wide of goal.
Kick given to Toronto. Petretta in front of the Toronto technical area.
Come on, Toronto.
Coaching staff wants Toronto players forward. Headed towards Sharp, popped it up for a moment. Flores trying to maintain possession. The flying kick does its job, getting it to Kevin Long. You can see maybe even on those passes, Dolly, the wind might have had an effect there.
Yeah, even along the ground, and that's a couple now out of the back from Rosta that have gone right into touch. So that build, as Robin Fraser said to us yesterday when we spoke, the build starts from the back and aligning the positions of the players in front of the players, playing out from the back. And maybe Rosta thinking that he wasn't given enough there, but that's 2 for 2 now that have gone straight into touch and have turned the ball over.
Freeze over to Justin Hack. Down the left side. Tool in traffic. Hack again. Martins. Good block here from Toronto, doing its job. Martins spotting something. That ball sails on him, as you'd expect in this win, but picked up nicely by Wolf. Wolf charging towards the box, but a wall of red. Maxi Morales now. Ojeda on the left side. In through traffic, spinning towards the spot. Lost control of the ball. And it's sent to the middle of the pitch by Toronto.
That's exactly what Pascal Janssen wants, though, from Ojeda, which is to attack, not be safe. He played a little bit too safe, he felt, in the game last week against New England. But he was brought here to combine, get in behind, use that quickness, that skill inside the area, drive forward. If nothing else, try to draw a free kick, a penalty kick in that situation. But it was well defended, even though Ojeda took to the turf. But they want to get him on the ball a lot more than they have in the first few games. And he's been in this New York City lineup.
Hack, as the sun starts to shine down brightly on BMO Field here. Martin's under pressure. Sharp closing down on him, chasing the ball all the way back to Matt Freese. Martin's up the middle, touch back for Shore. Morales to his back line once again, and nothing doing on the build here for New York City right now. No real notable possession past the center stripe as that ball skips in to Sean Johnson.
Yeah, with the wind in behind, there's no chance that's going to hold up. Slick surface here at BMO. Really need to time those and weight those passes into the channels away from the keeper. And not so much in behind it. It's a lot to ask of Martinez.
Gets behind Dominguez. Picked up by Ojeda. O'Toole down the left side on the overlap just before it reaches the touchline. Ojeda to Shore. Morales. Done there by Martinez to keep it alive, but not much Parks could do. Now Davy Flores again, the flying kick. Corporate backed in against Gray and stays with Toronto.
Well defended there from Gray. He added some life in the second half as he came forward.
The player spotlight presented by Allstate. You are in good hands, and he's Mr. Everything right now for Toronto FC. Federico Bernardeschi leading the team in touches, shots, key passes, and all counting stats as well. 2 goals and 2 assists on the season. They just need more of them. Toronto.
I think the other thing too, you said he does everything for them. He gets back as well. He really is diligent defensively. He made that incredible block on the free kick against Salt Lake last week, flying out of the picture and making a big save as it was headed towards goal, maybe into the corner, but he's been their best player, I think, the last couple of seasons.
DeAndre Kerr, co-team leader with 2 goals, but Kerr is gone with injury as well. Flores is cut down. And Lorenzo Insigne, as much as he has rehabilitated himself into the lineup in these 5 straight starts that Robin Fraser was glowing about, yet to get a goal this season. A couple of helpers, but no goals for Insigne. Flores cuts back away from Keaton Parks. Battle on that far side, and it stays with Toronto. Kosi Thompson. Throw it right at the center stripe. Thompson keeps the launch set towards Sharp. Going to be hard against the wind. Finally, the ball is in. Does reach Sharp. Flick that forward, though. Flores towards the middle of the pitch. Battle there for Osorio. Some tennis a little bit here. Finally calmed down by Dominguez. Osorio onto it. To the back line. Mentioned the 102 goal contributions of Maxi Morales earlier. The exact same number for Jonathan Osorio. So a couple of veterans looking to add to their totals, but a turnover. Martinez tries the shot and lying down to make the stop is Sean Johnson.
I think it's the only option that Martinez had after the turnover from Petretta. And away goes Martinez. The angle's not great, though. as it comes from Morales. No blue jerseys joining him inside the area, always with an eye towards goal. And Martinez can't do it enough to get by Sean Johnson.
Petretta for Corbanu. And a call against Petretta. Toronto will get it back here. And they've enjoyed the possession. Had the one really good chance with Sharp. That will be the next thing for Robin Fraser's turning the possession into some chances. Even up a man late versus Real Salt Lake a week ago. Unable to really make much of it. It's a ball over the top by David Flores. As you saw the win there, my goodness. And quickly, New York City a chance to head the other way. Wolf struggled to receive that pass, but Gray gets a second chance to Parks. Pass to Morales. A couple goes at it for Parks, but can't come up with it. And Johnson had to run over as the wind tried to blow that away. Fans are going to have to hold on tightly to those flags. Be carried into Lake Ontario. This ball ahead to Sharp. Turn pass to Dominguez just beyond his reach. Would have been odd men for Toronto on the rush.
Toronto needs to find a way to get the ball along the deck into Maxime Dominguez. He has hardly had a touch through this first 15-20 minutes or so, but it's a matter of trying to build through the midfield. And that means Osorio, Flores getting on the ball, and Dominguez looking to get on it as well. Because those long balls, unless they're going to win the second balls, haven't borne much fruit yet.
It's a literal long ball from Kevin. Just beyond the reach of Sharp. It's the last time I'll use that one, I promise. Hack to the back line, partner of Thiago Martins. New York City surveys a way to penetrate through the red block here. Martins, Palmeiras man, can't connect there with Martinez either, and it's probably what both head coaches are trying to avoid, is just hopeful long balls every time.
You cannot do that. You cannot play that type of ball with the wind behind your back, especially off the surface skipping up there. There's no chance for the front runners to get onto it. Yes, you want to go down the channel so it doesn't go straight to the goalkeeper, but side-to-side balls, opposite channel, is a way that they can at least somehow have the ball hold up.
Nice touch from Corbin, who got it to Dominguez, struggled to bring it forward. Helped out by Petretta here. Dominguez getting it back. Toronto has certainly been the better building team, but unable to get into the final third successfully much. Petretta does well to receive that. To tuck that through the legs of Gray didn't work. And New York City with some numbers. Davy Flores comes in to steal back for Toronto. And nicely done by Keaton Parks and cut down by Flores, who's at risk of a booking here, but Pierre-Luc Lausier, yes, now does go to the pocket.
Yeah, I think it is aggressive enough from Flores, who does well initially to win the ball, and then on the second time of asking, comes in and really quite strongly takes down Keaton Parks. Yeah, that's overly aggressive from the Honduran, but as mentioned before, he's been really good in that Toronto FC central midfield. Robin Fraser saying nobody else brings that type of intensity and high energy. And he's very coachable as well, but on that occasion, just a little bit too aggressive.
You and I are, I think, of the same opinion of destroying number 6, midfielders, but that is the risk, is those hard fouls.
Now on the yellow.
So we're here for Dominguez. No foul called there. Tucked in. Osorio's got a long way to go to get it. Does at the edge of the box. Thompson's with him. Stretching back to Flores. Osorio harassed from behind, and it's well done by O'Toole to steal it back for New York City. And they get a Karam. And is it another booking? And it is. It's all the way back on the play incoming from Kevin O'Toole. Long time coming for Pierre-Luc Lausière to put that one in his book. Played advantage for a little bit. It is New York City ball, but after the yellow card.
Yeah, he's grabbing the thigh there, and a takedown of Bernardeschi.
Some pressure, Flores. Petretta had just slipped, but got back up to receive the pass. On the right side for Thompson. Thompson tried to feed that through to Dominguez. In a body. Another chance for Thompson. Spinning towards Bernardeschi. 1v3. Now helped out by Dominguez, but losing the ball on the foul. A couple of early yellows here. These are two of the more well-behaved squads in Major League Soccer, incidentally. 16 yellow cards on the season for TFC coming in, 10 for NYC, and that is tops, or in this case, fewest in Major League Soccer. And it's via the foul they are working their way up the pitch here.
A little bit of stop-start right now as both teams trying to get that rhythm and connection through midfield. Lots of fouls. An opportunity for New York City to try to set something up, but from this deep position with that wind, they're not looking to get too close to the Toronto goal directly. I'd like to see them try to build through the central areas.
Morales still undecided. Pops that over nicely for Martins. Stiff pass by Gray. Caught up to by Wolf, but shorted that pass. And now Corbeanu trying to tie Martins into knots. Sharp from outside the box. And it's well over the bar, but well done by Toronto to make something of that counter.
And it's Corbeanu who twists one way, then the other, is able to open up the passing lane. And then Charlie Sharp, perhaps just snatching at it a little bit early there. Can't keep it down. A good sight of goal as well. Maybe that ball could have been just a little bit further in front of Charlie Sharp so that he was running onto it rather than stopping and shooting from outside the box.
Debut Flores. And the wind working in the favor there to get that to Bernardeschi, but he couldn't create space to get a shot away. Still Toronto ball. Collision as he received the pass.
Justin Hack gets to it first, and then just a little clip from behind, I guess, from Bernardeschi. He's got the arm up suggesting that there was nothing there, but Hack felt something and went to the ground.
Into the 26th minute here at BMO Field, 0-0. But you get the feeling, Dolly, Toronto's figuring out how to play with the wind a little bit here. Last few balls in the air were nicely weighted. One at the edge of the area. Marks heads it down. Available again, Sharp, Dominguez. Hopeful for Corbin, who never got through to him. Back out for Flores. Headed down for Osorio. Wanted that to get to Thompson. Down the left side now. Ooh. Calmly played by Rosted. Rattles around in the feet of Thompson. Dominguez can't find Charlie Sharp. Parks makes the turn. Ojeda prevented from getting down that line. Lots of room down here, and Tavon Gray. Wolf for sure. Looked like there might have been room down that near side touchline, Dolly, for New York City to make a move, but little more cautious from Pascal Janssen's side.
And that's one thing that he did mention too about his team, that he wants them to have more confidence to get forward, be that attack-minded team.
Looking for Martinez. Just so tough for New York City in this opening half to get that ball to hold up.
Yeah, it's funny. You think that playing with the wind would be to your advantage, but sometimes it is a little easier to play into the wind. Although I think Toronto would like to get through this first 45, certainly not conceding. Although they have been the better team. Came into this game 259 games, or minutes rather, without scoring at BMO.
Maxime Dominguez looking for Bernadeschi. Had to give it more steam against the wind. It never got through. Maxi Morales now better in hopes of Alonso Martinez. Got a touch on it, not enough, but it will be a corner. Game's first corner going to New York City. Easy to keep track of for the play-by-play guy when there's so few and far between.
Well, this is an area where I know we keep talking about the wind, but these in-swingers, if Morales has an eye towards goal, he can really put pressure on top of Sean Johnson with a whipped-in ball right on top of the keeper. Martinez is inside the area, but it's the big men you can look out for coming from the edge of the box. Hack, Parks, Martins.
Loaded box right now, whipped in, and I mean whipped by Maxi Morales. That came in with a lot of steam, and it'll be a corner from this near side now.
And Morales using that wind to his effect. That's the most dangerous ball, most difficult for a keeper to deal with that pace on it. Johnson does well just to steer it away.
The left foot again, the in-swinger, nicely dealt with inside the box by Toronto. And Wolf turned aside by David Flores. This exclusive NetCam replay brought to you by T-Mobile. And a look at the velocity this corner is coming across.
Yeah, it's like a shot. And so Johnson, quick feet, likes to punch. There's no way you can catch that. He's been excellent these last few weeks in particular. 35 years old now, still in the national team mix. Still a terrific shot stopper. Fantastic save in the game against Salt Lake early. And named to the team of the match week.
Long. Thompson, and now headed back by New York City. Morales couldn't deal with it. Shore towards the box. A little messy here as it's in the air. And now numbers for Toronto. Dominguez. Perfect weight this time for Federico Bernadeschi. Bernadeschi cutting towards the middle. Bernadeschi and it's blocked. Another goal. Blocked again. And cleared by New York City. Desperation defending, and it works for the boys in blue. Parks charging now the other way and taken down. There's a call. And another yellow card, this time for Kevin Long. It opened up.
Well, Bernadeschi does this so well. It's his favorite play is to cut inside onto his favorite left. He waits for the space to open up as he gets around O'Toole. Gets a lot of power behind it, but blue body's in the way. Well, blocked by Hack. He does a nice job of that, holding the arms in and making sure that there's no penalty there. And then Kevin Long just barrels through Keaton Parks. No intent there. He is looking to try to get to the ball, but takes all legs out. Parks goes to the ground, and now New York City. This is where I think you want to have a direct go at goal. It's close enough. With the wind behind, you can get a lot of power. And so look for this to be a direct strike towards Sean Johnson's goal. And it's Hannes Wolf and Maxi Morales lining up over it. But my money's on Wolf with a left-footed curler, top corner with pace.
Second hard foul Keaton Parks has been on the receiving end of. I wonder if the CFL's Toronto Argonauts are in the house. They share this spot with Toronto FC. They might be impressed. Keaton Parks as a running back, perhaps. Wolf and Morales the options for New York City. The veteran, a chip. Osorio got a piece of it. Second bite here for New York City, and a dangerous ball right through the 6. And it turns into a corner now for New York City.
Good thing it wasn't actual money that I laid on that top corner strike from Wolf, because Morales elects to chip it to the opposite side, and as it's kept alive, Long doesn't know really who's been behind him and only chests it out for the New York City corner kick.
Wolf again from this side. Third corner in pretty close succession towards the edge of the 6. Cleared again. And yeoman's work here by Kevin Long. That's 2 header clearances by the defender. Lofted up for Corbin, who couldn't take it on the fly. Still has it though, holds it up long enough. Triple teamed and now wins the foul. Still Toronto ball. Sunday Night Soccer returning tomorrow night after a week off. Cedric Teuchert in St. Louis. Back in prime time. This will be fun, taking on Los Angeles FC. Denny Bouanga and company. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. with MLS Countdown right here on MLS Season Pass. Thompson surveying his options from way out here on the free kick. Booms it, does everything he can to make that diagonal ball hit Petretta. Couldn't, but still alive here for Toronto. Parks though barreling through once more. Boy, does he get the job done in those close quarters. Thought that might have been off of Petretta, but Toronto gets the benefit of the call. Stop and start by Rosted. He'll stay with him.
I don't know that that's what Robin Fraser wants, is Rosted on the ball, dribbling forward under pressure like that. They do win the free kick from it, but more often than not, better play from Rosted is to trust the wing backs, the wide players, try to get it into the feet of the central players.
High lofted ball. The sun comes out, and you can see it caused some havoc for New York City players as they tried to figure it out. Not only the wind wreaking havoc, but the sun in and out throughout the course of the afternoon here. Flores all the way back for Johnson. Thompson trying to get to Bernadeschi. A little parry there from Flores, and now Osorio, and it curls into the on-rushing Thiago Martins, helping out New York City FC, giving right back to Davy Flores though. And right back into Toronto possession on the touchline for Maxime Dominguez. The player comparison presented by Celsius, pure passion and maximum energy with zero sugar. Maxime Morales and Maxime Dominguez supposed to be the orchestrator, Stone.
I thought that number for Dominguez would be a lot lower. Maybe he had 5 or 6 touches in one possession, I'm not sure, but Morales has had a bit more effect in the game so far, as he normally does. Likes to leak out to the left side. A good distributor, good crosser of the ball as well. And Dominguez, his touches have been a bit more central, and I don't want to say negative, but playing back, he hasn't really looked to turn and play that final pass that he's got. Experienced Swiss midfielder. Hasn't seen a lot of minutes since coming over, but they're hoping that he can create from that central position. They wouldn't have worked together much at all, maybe a little bit in training, Charlie Sharp and Dominguez.
Sorio popping that up, Dominguez right back to him. Floated back towards the Swiss player. Bernadeschi charging down the right side towards the box, backing up. He's got some room. Bernadeschi tackled at the edge of the 6, and it is going to be a Toronto corner, but in the meantime, concern on the tackle from O'Toole.
And Bernardeschi, he loves to cut inside, and O'Toole knows that, but I think he just jars himself on the turf as he goes to the ground to get that last touch. It prevents Bernardeschi from going around him. And still down on the ground is O'Toole.
I don't know that Bernardeschi stepped on him on the calf by accident as he was exiting. We'll see here for sure. Yeah, there it is on the edge of the foot.
And that's exactly what happens, and that hurts too on the outside of the shoe. No intent from Bernardeschi. Clever there from him, though, knowing that he wants to cut onto the inside. There was a little bit of a lane down the touchline and right at the end line as well.
He was trying to make sure too that he earned the corner, didn't want that to careen off him, so he kind of hopped too. It might have really been an unintentional sort of stomp, if you will, from Bernardeschi, jumping in the air a little bit. These are the team benches built by the Home Depot. While we have a moment, a reminder of who's available coming up here for both head coaches, and it's going to be an early substitution. It's looking like a substitution coming here for New York City. As for Toronto, Lorenzo Insigne, of course, the most notable of options for Robin Fraser. And Nick Cavallo could be the man. There is Cavallo desperately warming up here as he will need to come on for the injured O'Toole, providing there's not a miraculous recovery. O'Toole is trying to jog it off, but the card has been handed in apparently. And at the nearest convenience, as that ball comes in off the corner, ejected immediately by New York City. But New York City, in the meantime, is down a man. And O'Toole is going to muscle through. The card has been pulled back. See the fourth official handing that back to the technical area of New York City. And Kevin O'Toole's a gamer. That ball flips forward. Sharp from outside the block. Doesn't know what to do with it yet. And maybe just took a second too long as Shore is able to get that away from danger. Now, foul given. New York City will get the ball back.
A couple of chances now for Charlie Sharp. Big goal scorer in college at Western Michigan and with Toronto FC too. And just kind of hesitates because once again, Justin Hack in a good position, holds his ground, makes Sharp have to go around him or through him. And in the end, Sharp elects to try to play off and can't find his man.
O'Toole still on the touchline. And you can see him really testing out. They want to make sure that he is okay to get back in. But in the meantime, still just 10 boys in blue. Wolf got to it first, but nobody there at the edge of the box. Parks back heel into Corbeanu. He touches that out. It'll be another corner here for New York City. They're starting to pile up now late in this opening half.
And these are definitely the situations where New York City can be most dangerous. We haven't seen a lot from the build, from the open play, a lot of long balls forward that haven't connected. That one did. They were able to keep it in play and now win a corner kick from this. So can they be a bit more dangerous in their delivery from Hannes Wolf on this near side?
Ball in from Wolf. Back post. Johnson got a piece of it. Nope, they say he did not. Just watched it. It's a goal kick for Toronto.
Always moving away from Johnson, not to know what's in behind him. Makes a play on the ball, but no New York City players were in. Locking that off at the back post, and there needed to be. There needs to be someone there to keep that play alive.
Johnson urging everybody forward, which could prove dangerous if the gusts, which were supposed to be above 30 miles an hour, 50 kilometers an hour, And it won't quite get to the half. Sharp tried to flick that forward. Picked up again by Shore. Strong header there by Hack. Flores defending, and it's a New York City throw into Toronto territory. So we'll see if it's Toronto's play in the second half that has led them to build more easily, or if it's really weather related. New York City's been having a tough time in open play. Battling right here for possession. Bernadeschi with the theft. Sharp all alone. If he can find him, it gets through. And another touch to Corbeanu. Corbeanu can't get the shot away. It floats harmlessly into the arms of Matt Freese.
Such a poor touch from Corbeanu. Corbeanu going away from goal, and meant that his angle on the last touch right there takes it away. Deflects into the hands of Freese. Easy save after a promising build.
Tretta and Wolf tangling up. It's Toronto ball though. In the 44th minute now at BMO Field. Osorio. Up for Sharp. Quickly cleared by Shore. Flores down to the ground. Martinez nearby. Have not had much occasion to call on Alonso Martinez. I'm sure he is anxious to get involved here, but might have to bide his time till they're working against the wind. Hack trying that left side once more. Tool back in the match. A gamer. Parks, he's done well to keep possession as much as they possibly can for New York City.
He's very good in tight spaces, almost attracts teams onto him so that he can find the spaces in and around once he's able to escape that pressure.
Yeah. Battle here with Bernadeschi. Hack, a little shake and bake, gone through a couple of Toronto players, and now down that left side with some success is New York City. There's Martinez outside the box. Wolf from a shooting area, but rattles off of Petretta and harmlessly out for another corner.
One of the few box entries in the game this afternoon for New York City. As it comes for Wolf, he likes to take it from his left foot. Good block in the end, but again, a dangerous opportunity that comes from this corner kick.
Added time is presented by Audi, and just 2 on the injury to Kevin O'Toole. That's really the only slowdown we've had in this opening half. It's been a quick one. Here's the offering from Wolf, going short. First time they've tried this. Wolf can't get the cross away, and Flores slows him down. Possession continues. Morales and Wolf joined by Ojeda, but they just can't get out of the corner, and it's Toronto ball. Toronto's next match versus New England, May 3rd, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets at MLSsoccer.com/tickets. It's the last opponent, of course, for New York City FC as well. Falling 2-0 to the Revs. See what chapter is authored by either side in the second half. It's been an interesting battle. Blue versus red versus Mother Nature here at BMO Field. Wolf trying to send Martinez in. Osorio looking for Sharp, doesn't connect. And that rolls for a goal kick. Sean Johnson will take his time.
As much as we talk about the ball in the air being affected by the wind, you're right, Blake, that those ones along the deck, the same thing, it holds it up. And even that last build where they had the best opportunity, Corbenu's chance, the ball's kind of just held up, that final pass, not flowing it into space.
Osorio, Corbenu. Gray dealt with him. So we thought Toronto ball. No, that is it. Some clarification. The quick triple whistle to end it here in the opening half. 0-0. And quite a stalemate there, Dolly.
Well, and you summed it up. They're fighting their opponent. They're also fighting the conditions a little bit. And it's which team will be able to adjust better in the second 45 minutes that will probably end up getting the points from this game.
3 points up for grabs for either side. We'll recap what went down in the opening 45 when we come back on your MLS Season Pass.
Can we stop for food?
No, hay comida en la casa.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can explore the neighborhood or live like a local. Unplug for the day or plunge into a long weekend. With IHG's 19 hotel brands, you can guest how you guest.
1. Consagras el futuro, hermano.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. Celsius. Live fit.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you taking more time off or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Welcome to the Audi Halftime Report. Blake Price, Paul Dolan here inside the booth. And we're happy we're inside the booth because it looks a little chilly when you're outside the booth. 0-0 at the half. And here's how we got there from here. As the two sides come out, remember there's been some history between these two squads. We wondered if any of that would bubble up. Not really the case, although a few yellows handed out. And it was the kid with the best chances early here, Charlie Sharp making his presence felt.
And Bernardeschi getting involved down the left side on this occasion. That's a good ball to the back post. 6'5" Charlie Sharp able to rise, but not able to knock it down into the ground. This was from a turnover from Raul Petretta, and quickly Martinez came back the other way. He didn't really have any other options but to shoot.
Hey sports fans, thank you so much for hanging out with us here on Toronto Sports Insider. during the Playoff Pulse. Our mission is simple, bringing sports fans together to hang out, cheer, and change the world, one insider at a time, while supporting Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto every single game.
Cheers, insiders and sports fans from around the world. The Playoff Pulse campaign on Toronto Sports Insider is uniting fans worldwide through the thrill of NHL and NBA playoffs. Every game, every fan, every moment counts. The link is pinned in the chat and in the description. Check out our campaign page. Donate if you can, or share it with friends. Holy Mackinac! Every click helps sick kids heal the future. Just by being here, you have already made an impact. Now, chat it up, keep it classy, and let's keep changing the world one insider at a time.
To every child and family who've needed us since 1875, and all who support us, our hospital needs no introduction. But just in case, it's Sick Kids. And it's our 150th birthday. Our mission has always been healthier children, a better world. The first children's hospital in Canada, Sick Kids. Pasteurizing milk to prevent disease 30 years before it was mandatory. The heart-lung machine that transformed open heart surgery. A pediatric kidney transplant in 1969. Sick Kids, Sick Kids, and Sick Kids. We discovered the gene for cystic fibrosis so patients live longer lives. And we just created the world's first Atlas of Cancer, using machine learning to analyze 13,000 variations. Today, the hospital sees over 130,000 patients a year. We're a research powerhouse, a training magnet, attracting nearly 600 clinical and research fellows from around the globe every year. And we're the #1 publicly funded children's hospital in the world. We're celebrating 150 years of excellence, driven by philanthropy. What's next? Thanks to donors like you, we're going to keep healing Canada and the world, and we're going to heal the future.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to the Audi halftime report. 0-0 at BMO Field in Toronto between TFC and New York City. Not the only match underway early here on this Saturday afternoon, and a couple more later on this afternoon as well. So you can have your fill of Major League Soccer. Kevin Danke's goal is late in the first half. They're at the half as well, alongside us, and FC Cincinnati with the lead on Kansas City. A couple of games later on this afternoon. There's a look at what's coming up later on this evening as well, and a few Sunday night affairs as well. The top performance is presented by Audi, and you want the stars of the game to take over, and Federico Bernardeschi has taken it upon himself to imprint himself on this match as best as he possibly can.
And he started early down the left-hand side, able to get that ball in, and this is where he naturally sets up down the right, usually cutting on to the left to get his shooting chances. This time he tries to go end line as the angle opened up for him. But this is where he's so good, in flight with that quickness, outside of the boot, sets up this opportunity that Corvinu is not able to take full advantage of. But steaming forward in that full stride is where Bernardeschi is so good. And there's the heat map where so often we see him in that position. 45 minutes, but 8 passes completed. They want to improve that, get forward into those attacking areas a lot better.
Came into the match with the 14th highest crosses in Major League Soccer. Loves to create, loves to shoot from outside when he can as well. So we'll see if he is able to fulfill some of these chances and get Toronto on the board in the second half. That's next on your MLS Season Pass.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, you can explore the neighborhood or live like a local. Unplug for the day or plunge into a long weekend. With IHG's 19 hotel brands, you can guest how you guest.
Hey, playing for an Ultra?
We playing for Ultras? Brace you for an Ultra?
Put an Ultra on it. Don't forget, there's Ultras on the line. Woo! I didn't.
Michelob Ultra, superior like beer.
Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. The sweet scent of a honeymoon in Fiji. Moisturized with vitamin B3.
You better not be using all the Old Spice.
Can you get my bag?
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you enjoying the moment or owning the moment. They can bring investment opportunities or opportunities to invest in yourself. Ideas that can have you doing good or feeling great. From following your passion to making your passion work for you. What ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Welcome back to Toronto, Ontario. This broadcast of MLS on Apple TV is presented by T-Mobile. Match day 10, 0-0, Toronto FC in New York City. Blake Price, Paul Dolan with you on a windy day at BMO Field. It has made its impact on the match to this point. And I'm sure it has made its impact on the supporters as well. As we get you to the supporter camp, brought to you by Lowe's. Visit Lowe's for the ultimate assist on your next project. And the supporters deserve all sorts of credit for sticking it out in this one. Bundled up and jumping up and down will certainly keep you warm with that lake breeze hitting the back of the neck. And they're hoping they've got something to really get excited about in the second half. You know, Toronto FC and New York City not exactly burning it up in terms of goals for. 8 for Toronto, 11 for New York City coming in. Here's the thing is, that's right on par almost for both of them. Expected goals actually lower than 8 for TFC, and it's last in the league for New York City. They're at 13.15 expected goals for, 19th, so not much above where they're sitting at right now. They're getting what they deserve, in other words.
Yes, in fact, it's an underperforming New York City team in the offensive third. They're one of the worst in the entire league in that area. So a little surprised maybe that we haven't seen any subs, although I think Pascal Janssen wants to see how his team plays now going into the wind and how that might change what they do in terms of their attack. Give these players a chance to show what they can do. It was an ineffective first half outside of that one chance from Martinez.
Corbeanu can't get beyond Gray down the right side. Maxi Morales has clearly worked up a bit of a sweat. He's taken off the gloves for the second half after wearing them in the opening half. Parks leaves it there for the veteran. Morales going over the top again now, adjusting to going against the wind is New York City. Flores mishit that one. Reeled in by New York City. Ojeda to O'Toole, who's taking the advanced position for a moment. Parks resets back to Hack. Team's under pressure from Corbeanu, gets it to Gray though. Gray looked like he was poised to sprint ahead, but then it held up nicely for him, and he's making the adjustments to how that will work here in the second half. O'Toole, Morales, the overlap was there, and it's again from O'Toole. The two of them overlap. O'Toole sends that in, and a nice leg out there by Sigurd Rostad to make sure that stayed away from danger.
And interesting that both teams in the opening moments of each half playing against the wind have played their best build. And that's a good last ball in from O'Toole. No one across the front post though. They'll settle for a corner. And Morales now lining up over this one again with the big bodies right near the edge of the box.
New York City does not have a corner kick goal this season. Ball edge of the 6. Cleared by Toronto. Bernadeschi and Gray giving chase. And chased all the way back by the Italian, trying to get in the way of Freeze. Back into the middle. Flores cuts a diagonal ball. And probably doesn't mind that. A deep throw here for New York City. A chance for Toronto to get onto its front foot a little bit.
Again, first and foremost for TFC is get that defensive stability, keep things clean at the back. But it's the points that they've taken from those good teams and their first win that's given them a belief, I think, that they can do more than just settle for that.
Charging down the right side now, New York City. Morales leaves it for O'Toole. O'Toole full head of steam. Ojeda left side, outside of the foot. But clearance once again for Toronto.
Space is opening up down the left-hand side. 2v1 opportunity there outside of the right boot from Ojeda. Maybe a better play there is with the left foot getting around the defense and in a more central area.
Ojeda left the ball available, but only as far as Parks. Back heel through to Morales from Keaton Parks, who has looked very good here today. That ball is tossed in by Ojeda. He lets it through for a throw.
So many teams now in Major League Soccer use inverted wingers, meaning the favored foot for Ojeda, clearly the right foot, not quite as strong as getting that ball in with the left foot.
And that ball was left by O'Toole, but the call is in favor of Toronto, so a chance for them to regroup here a little bit, and that's the bad news for Toronto. We wondered how much of an aid the wind would be, or if it was just the quality of play by Toronto, and clearly the wind is of an aid, because New York City, having just got the wind against them, has looked great now in 2 different forays down the pitch.
The referee having a word with Kosi Thompson, who does belabor getting those throw-ins onto the park.
Oh, that ball is left. Freeze has to charge out. Wynn knocks it down, keeps that in the pitch. Awkward bouncing ball, settled by Parks. Onto the open wing for Gray. Settles it once again for Parks. Wolf. Parks being harassed there by Sharp, who'd come all the way back. Gray tried to cross that in. It's off the defender. They say it's a corner for New York City. We saw the corners in the first half for New York City, really rifling towards Sean Johnson. Different side of the pitch. Wolf. That one floated away on him a little bit. Parks tries to track it down. Can't do it. Rosted watched that roll over for a goal kick. So pros and cons of being against the wind. Flores taps that back. We'll see if Toronto can learn from these opening minutes working with the wind. That was a nice touch by Bernadeschi to Dominguez in all sorts of room now. Dominguez leaving it for Bernadeschi. Will he get there first? He won't, but he earns Toronto's just second corner of the match, and a frustrated Italian kick in the end boards.
I think he just wanted a bit better ball there. The final touch from Dominguez as he puts it through the legs, but it's just out of the reach. Able to read that one as Martin's coming across. Bernadeschi knows that was an opportunity.
Awkward little toe tap from Dominguez. Didn't really get to guide that ball like he wanted to for Bernadeschi, who has the honors in the corner here. Second corner of the match for Toronto, last in the league in corners. Here it comes though, whipping far post, and Flores was charging in trying to catch a piece, but he couldn't.
And the hands are out from Bernadeschi. Same thing I mentioned in the first half from New York City. You have to have someone at the back post locking this off, especially with that whip coming back. Just a player that's at the edge of the box who can knock it back across the face of goal and keep the ball alive.
There's been education in the match already, right? You've watched a bunch of the corners. You'd think they'd be ready for it. Corbeanu on the left foot. Sharp was there and perfectly defended by New York City inside the area. Ball hoisted up to the edge and now booted away by Ojeda. Corbeanu will get a second chance. Moving towards the middle, into the path of Thompson. Bernadeschi to the edge on that left foot. Couldn't get the shot away, and you wonder how that shot will look if he does get it away with the wind. Rosted to Osorio, couldn't handle the pass, and now Maxi Morales has a chance to head the other way. Wolf has it, the one touch for Martinez. 1v1 against Long. Martinez, he's all alone. What will he do with it? Back heel. Wolf chipped to the goal line and stopped. Kosi Thompson saves the day for Toronto. That close to an opener for the visitors. Cleared to the center line. New York City trying to carry some momentum. Toronto trying to build back. And there is a foul. It'll go in Toronto's favor. And a chance for everybody to breathe after a couple of good looks.
Brilliant there from Kosi Thompson. And it starts with a fantastic touch from Hannes Wolf here, because that pace on the ball opens up the space in front. And then from there, Martinez, who's held up a little bit, beautiful little touchback. And then Wolf looks for sure to have found the back of the net and the game's opener. But Thompson reads it so well. It helps out his goalkeeper. It gets by Johnson, but not by Thompson. And right off the goal line.
Now Toronto the other way. The cross intercepted. Parks for Morales. He got things started in the center of the pitch as New York City built that last chance. Does so again for Parks. Wolf. Ball is still available. Corbin picks it up, able to get rid of Parks, and now working against Gray, who stands tall with the defensive stop. So the second half providing a few more thrills and spills here in the opening 10 minutes. That's why defenders should never give up on the play, right, Mr. Goalkeeper?
I love that. Yeah, you always want to get bailed out by someone who reads.
By Bernadeschi. Prevented him from getting around O'Toole, but he does get the corner out of it, and that's the second corner of the half already for Toronto, who had just one in the opening 45. What was learned on that opening corner here, and we'll see if Bernadeschi and Toronto FC can build. And
Charlie Sharp at the back post,
along with 4 other teammates. Rolling towards the middle, and Sharp was there. So was Long. Somebody got a piece, but it also hit a man in blue. And it's to the other corner now for Osorio. Things are getting interesting here. And you get the feeling a goal is somewhere near for either side. Osorio on the right foot, low screamer, handled by New York City. Morales charging out to keep that alive. Did for a moment, earns the throw. And now New York City gets its chance to build on some promising play forward.
Osorio puts his hand up. He knows he wants to beat that first man to make it difficult inside the box.
Yes. Mike's picking up the oohs and ahs of the players. No call there. Morales leaving for Parks. Nope, Flores gets to it first, but just holds it up a little bit. Parks with a quick throw. Morales onto the wing for Wolf. You can see the urgency from New York City as well. Both sides, I do think, believe they're close here.
Yeah, they definitely feel that there are goals in this if they can build any sort of rhythm and get that energy going in the right direction. Davy Flores has been everywhere defensively for Toronto, trying to break things up. And he's hoping that the rest of his team can build off of that energy.
Get ready for more match day action later tonight when MLS Countdown will come your way at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Host Kalen Kyle and the entire crew get you set for all the night's action again, as we trotted out earlier at halftime. Lots of late night action like all day here on your MLS Season Pass. Petretta able to get around Wolf. Gray can't get the block, but Parks is there defending the 6-yard box. And Petretta will opt for the throw.
Got that big 6'5" target, Charlie Sharp. You've got to get the ball past the first man into the area. A couple of times it's been blocked out now.
Corbin. 2 minds. Lost it to Morales. Down the line, Davy Flores gets a piece, and New York City will get the ball on the throw. Getting into this one a little bit more.
Julian Fernandez warming up, taking off his track jacket. New York City needs something down the flank, so Hayes has had a quiet game on the left side. Wolf a little more spry in the second half, almost had the opener. bit more in terms of that attacking flair. Fernandez has also been rather inconsistent this year. That's been the problem for New York City in their attack.
Ojeda had a relatively early exit a week ago, and that, you're right, could be the option here for Pascal Janssen. We're getting confirmation that will be the case, as young Augie Ojeda, at 20 years of age from Argentina, is in trouble. Now Bernadeschi couldn't pull the trigger. Charged inside the box. Toronto wants a call. They're not going to get it from Pierre-Luc Rosier.
And it's just as you said, can't pull the trigger when he needs to pull the trigger. The chance opens up right there, but you know what? There's just that little touch, I think, from O'Toole that takes it away. Not a foul. Bernadeschi looking for anything right now.
Wolf leaving it for Gray. Saved it just before the ball left the pitch, and that means New York City still has this momentum. Maxi Morales' second ball is on the pitch, so that prevented the quick restart by New York City. Boys in blue none too pleased about it. Ball's still sitting on the byline. Nobody is around to get rid of it, so Maxi Morales will play ball boy. Advantage lost there for New York City in the interim as they tried to keep numbers in their favor. Gray slams that into the ground. Parks. Some interplay down the line, and Gray releases to the back line. Hack's got to be careful. And we saw this from Sigurd Rosted in the first half in that same center back position. It's tough to weight those balls. Bernadeschi cutting towards the middle. Played well by Johnny Shore. Dominguez bounces past Rosted. Wolf. Martinez in space. Can he get a shot away? Martinez surrounded by red. And there's the point. Martinez and New York City to the spot here in the second half.
The referee had a long look, took a long time to make that decision, but in the end points to the spot as Martinez, again looking like he had the chance to release the shot, holds it up, and when he drags it back here on Kevin Long, coming in from behind is Thompson. Is that what the referee sees as the foul? On to the right. I think he sticks his right leg out, and then Thompson hits it. That's a very harsh decision. And that's what Jonathan Osorio is explaining, is that the foot was planted as Thompson came in from behind. Obviously still being reviewed just to confirm that, but with the referee having made that decision, it might be a hard one to overturn. Referee, you have to say, in a very good position, took his time to make the decision. It's Thompson coming in from behind, I think, where the call is made, and you see the frustration on Toronto's number 6, who had just saved the day a few moments ago. And this could be the opener for New York City from the foul he's been adjudged to have made.
The best of times, the worst of times for Kosi Thompson. The decision is in, and the penalty remains for New York City. And what a wild swing. Alonso Martinez 1 for 2 on penalty kicks so far this season.
Well, he absolutely smashed one in the top corner from the spot against Atlanta, and then just a week later blazed one off the crossbar. So expect this one to fly off the foot.
Martinez into the spot, tucks it home, and 1-0 New York City. Nothing Sean Johnson can do on that one. He guessed right, but can't make the stop. The visitors are on the board. And a forlorn group of Reds marches back to the center of the pitch to try to get this one back.
It's frustration for Robin Fraser, but elation for Alonso Martinez. Such an experienced striker. So confident every time he strikes from 12 yards out, even though he missed his last spot kick. Nicely measured into the corner. Never in doubt in his mind as he sets up the goal by drawing the penalty kick and then converts to give New York City the lead. And very clever as well from the striker. Whether he intended to draw that or not, he was able to hold it up by putting his right foot out, planting it, and it was the contact from Kosi Thompson that led to the penalty kick, which he converted so well.
6 goals on the season for Martinez. Goals have been hard to come by as a team. He's back on pace. That one floats away wildly on Martinez. But he is back on pace, really, to come close to, if not better, his 16 goals from a year ago. And how does this change the approach for Robin Fraser? Here in the waning moments, or not waning moments just yet, but time still of the essence. About a half hour to go, you'd think, with added time. Triple substitution coming here for Toronto. And amongst them, as they try to get offense, is Lorenzo Insigne. And they will make their entry right now for Toronto. So you wonder if this was scheduled, Dolly, or if this is a pure reaction to what just happened as Davy Flores comes out. Alonso Coelho.
Well, certainly Davy Flores coming off who right now because of the score line. So a more defensive-minded midfielder comes off. And Lorenzo Insigne coming in. We knew that he would get minutes. Maybe forced a little bit earlier.
Looked like Tyrese Spicer was going to come on, but they pulled that one back. And Theo Corbeanu will stay on the pitch. So just a double substitution. So just Coelho and Insigne in, Dominguez and Flores off for Toronto.
And there's not much that we can say from Dominguez in terms of his involvement here today. Still making his way into the side, trying to find his rhythm, chemistry within his teammates. But what Insigne can bring you, we know from this number 10 position that he's been taking up since rejoining the club 5 games ago, is that final pass. But Robin Fraser extolling the virtues of what he does defensively from the team from the front as well. Getting into the lanes, and a real good commitment from him as well. He's been pleased with Lorenzo Insigne since he's rejoined the side. But it's that final pass. If he doesn't have that dynamicism anymore, what can he do with that final pass to help create some chances that have been few and far between for Toronto FC here today?
The Matchday Live scores and schedule are presented by AT&T, and Kevin Denke's goal still remains the only one on the board for Cincinnati at home to SKC. And the rest of the schedule is there for you throughout the day and tomorrow, of course, with a near handful of matches in Major League Soccer. By the way, Julian Fernandez did indeed take off Agustin Ojeda, that substitution, coming just before the double for Toronto. And there's Fernandez giving chase right now. They say it is a goal kick, and Sean Johnson with it for TFC. Into the 69th minute here at BMO Field. Down the line, Corbeanu in against Gray. Those two have had a good battle. And Corbeanu able to turn the corner just a little bit. And then the switch is on for Kosi Thompson. Thompson down the right side for Bernadeschi. Bernadeschi couldn't tap that past Kevin O'Toole. There was room behind O'Toole, but well defended. Behind Cavallo, pardon me. In the middle, given away to Sharp. Corbeanu. back line once more. Bernadeschi into a pair of blue kits, dispossessed. Morales had to deal with the official as well. And Bernadeschi quickly taking off his boots. And Spicer will take off Federico Bernadeschi.
So Bernadeschi must have said something to Robin Fraser just as the switch was about to take place for Corbeanu. And now Corbeanu will move over to the right-hand side where he's played for Canada. And Spicer naturally left-footed down the left side.
Bernadeschi getting attention on the bench as soon as he arrived there. So clearly a little knock suffered there, ending his day earlier than anticipated. Perhaps Sharp back to the defenders with Martinez lurking nearby. Rosted does well to evade that. Long pumps the ball into the corner. Corbeanu right onto it. Switching wings is Corbeanu. And just beyond Insigne. Again, one of those cross balls when you're working against the wind. It's been tough passes. Another one spoiled by New York City. And Fernandez into the book.
He's knocked the ball away, tried to slow down this quick restart from Toronto FC, who are now 330 minutes and counting since their last goal at BMO Field.
Yet just one goal here restores the energy to BMO Field and puts a point back in the pocket of TFC. Defending key here for New York City in the meantime. Beyond Thompson, Long, and Coelho. Defending the back line, picked off by Cavallo. Sorry with a quick turn. Insigne tapping that to Coelho. Rosted. And mishandled on the far side. Spicer's first touch. Not as good as he had hoped. One back by Toronto, however. And the through ball. Too hot to handle for Charlie Sharp.
Toronto has really struggled to string passes together. The weight of the passes, the connection, the accuracy of the passes just hasn't been good enough to threaten the New York City defense as they get set now. Their lines are very intact. Positioning is good from the City defense. And there really hasn't been a threat in this second half whatsoever.
Cavallo. There's some pressure from Corbeanu. Can't get that one to where he had hoped. Petretta able to push that forward to Spicer, working against Gray. Spicer, no crosses there just yet. And now double teamed in the corner. Able to come out of it for a moment, but then the third man in is Keaton Parks. Chips it down the touchline. Desperation play there by Toronto. They do win it back. The heat map is presented by IHG, 19 brands, 6,000 destinations. Download the app today. The goal scorer, Alonso Martinez, almost everywhere in the offensive half.
He does have to take a lot of the load on his shoulders without that wing support that he's been hoping to get from Ojeda and Fernandez. Wolf has had a strong game, but he's having to go find the play. Now defensively lined up to defend this set-piece opportunity for Toronto FC.
Set-piece goals have been a bright spot for Toronto. 3 set-piece goals on the season, top third in the league. That one rolling towards goal, still rattling around, and Matt Freese is able to come up with it. Kevin Long was oh so close, and now numbers for New York City. Martinez, Morales, Fernandez, just wide of the near post. chances at both ends. And Toronto will look to build once more. The left side. Spicer.
I don't know how Kevin Long didn't get a touch there. And then from that miss, a quick restart back the other way. Toronto FC caught out. Good transition from New York City, and Fernandez playing down this left side here tonight. Blazes one wide of the goal.
Corbenu's looks a little more effective on this right side. In fact, it looked like he was held, but no call from Pierre-Luc Lausier. Shore for Parks. Into space, and that one worked out for him for a moment. Stolen back by Toronto, and Rosted resets. Substitutions ahead for New York City. Not on this stoppage, but Burke Risa and Andres Perea are coming in. This exclusive NetCam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile, and this is how close it came for Kevin Long. Just dropped in behind him.
All it needed was a touch, just the slightest of touches. Matt Freese was frozen on his line there as that ball whipped in, and Long, the closest man to it, just needed a glance.
You just doubled our pun fines for the day.
I really didn't mean it. It just sat there for me.
We had the Kevin Long ball and the frozen Matt Freese. We apologize profusely. Lorenzo Insigne. Too long. And Corbin, an underlapping run there by Kosi Thompson, who wanted it, didn't get it. Coelho. Holding it again in the center circle. That one was let go by Insigne. Clearly thought the run was on from Corbeanu. It was not.
And it's Corbeanu who puts his arm up, knowing that it was a clever play by Insigne. The communication amongst the front runners isn't going to be there. Charlie Sharp making his first start. Corbeanu coming in off the right side. They haven't had a lot of time together to get these patterns of play built, but it has been coming the last little while. Certainly the defensive side of things for Toronto FC, but that attack is really missing. 23-2, they're outshot in Real Salt Lake, even a man up for a good portion of the second half. Not the threat that Robin Fraser would have liked to have seen from his side at home here today.
Keaton Parks, the foul suffered king in this match, barged from behind, and they'll take this moment to bring in the substitutions of Risa and Perea, and the youngest and oldest players on the pitch will come off.
Maxi Morales always seems to have an influence on a game one way or another. Got his touches in. Johnny Shore, another strong game in central midfield, and now Perea. I like what I've seen from him in that defensive midfield position.
So significant changes now from both sides here in this second half. Sharp absorbs the barge from behind himself, and Toronto a chance to start again here. And probably on the judges' cards at least, Dolly, playing better with the win than I thought New York City did. But they couldn't make it work against the wind, which seems to be the favorable of the two directions, and New York City has.
And all that really matters is what happens in the final third. Toronto's approached the final third okay, I'd say, in the second half. Final ball, last bit of play has been lacking.
Insigne's ball for Coelho wasn't a good one, and yet he got a foot onto him, did Coelho. So the young Spaniard wins the ball back in the process, and just that second effort, he deserves credit for it. Insigne for Thompson. Corbeanu on the touchline. Insigne's joined him there. Won't get the ball to the Italian. Instead, it's Coelho. Rosted for Spicer. Nibbling at the edge of the final third, and Spicer just a little bit of a heavy touch. Opened up the tackle, and New York City's able to deal with it.
And he needs to get down the line and whip balls in. He's a good crosser of the ball. When he goes one-on-one, tries to come inside and combine. And in the end, there's a clash of boots there. I'm not sure what the referee's final decision was.
I think it's just a throw, unless there's a late decision from Pierre-Luc Lausière. Nothing sinister, that's for sure. Competing for the ball, and they'll just play on from the center stripe. Past the 80-minute mark now at BMO Field. Over the top ball, looking for Corbeanu, knocked down nicely. Corbeanu across the edge of the box. Spicer tries his shot, is blocked by Gray.
And you just touched on how Toronto is playing this win better. That was an excellent ball from Kevin Long into the corner. It took a nice touch too from Corbeanu to bring it down. And a whipped in ball across, just a little too heavy and off the foot there, but the shooting chance for Spicer.
Now down the left side, New York City countering Wolf with it. Gets the underlapping run from Perea. Perea to Wolf. Martinez can't let the shot go, but now in space, Fernandez in front. What a save by Johnson with the right hand. Keeping this match alive for Toronto.
And that's exactly what he's done. What a nice pass there from Martinez, opening up the Toronto defense. And from the cutback, the last touch from Wolf, the right arm stabs out to make the save. Johnson keeps it at 1-0.
Now can the players in the field back up their keeper for Toronto? Or will this be a stout defensive effort from New York City in the final 10 minutes or so? Let's work to get around Wolf. Insigne into the middle, left that ball available. And as much as Insigne has been glowed about by Robin Fraser, the touches today have left most wanting. Chip down the touchline there. Yeah, sorry, I won't be able to get to it. New York City, a slow jog to pick this ball up. The match momentum is presented by Old Spice. And look at who's had it. And it has been a pretty even affair, hasn't it? Look at the different colors, up and down, and little bursts there in the middle part of this second half where each side looked dangerous. The scoreboard, all that matters in the end. Cavallo to Parks. Left foot, Cavallo. Good to find Perea. Squirts free to Osorio, a little touch. Right into the path of New York City. Wolf dispossessed by Thompson. Corbeanu all surrounded by blue, just converging on Corbeanu. Did well to get through three, but the fourth back up there, tremendous as Risa came across to make the play.
Good skill from Corbeanu here, using the outside of the foot to evade 2 or 3 New York City defenders before winning the throw. Nice touch there again down the near side touchline.
Insigne thought about the throw. It'll be Kosi Thompson instead. Ball comes in for Sharp. Insigne again. off the defender in Justin Hack. And we'll see if Toronto can make something of this corner attempt, but an injury for Sharp as he is on his knees. Next up for New York City, by the way, FC Cincinnati, as we mentioned, had a lead early in their match. It's coming up on May the 4th, 3 p.m. Eastern time start. Tickets at MLSsoccer.com/tickets. And they are right on the same pace as a year ago, New York City. No panic. But Pascal Janssen not really willing to discuss playoffs just yet either. As we take a second look at how Charlie Sharp went down.
To us, as both managers have, that they still hope to improve the squad. And of course, New York City did sign Aidan O'Neill just before the transfer deadline. And they will have a new defensive midfielder join the club from Standard Liège, Australian international. And both teams do need reinforcements. And that can help the central midfield, certainly for New York City. Justin Hack's done a good job when he's played there. I think he's been outstanding in the center back position here this afternoon.
Certainly nothing wrong with the performance of Johnny Shore, but there wasn't a lot of value added necessarily by the 18-year-old as well. And again, 18 years of age. So there's a lot of development there ahead for Johnny Shore, but a guy like O'Neill might help out in that regard just a little bit. Outswinger from Osorio. Low driving ball. I don't think it was what he intended, but the ball left there anyhow for Spicer, who pumped one but well wide.
It was a good connection from Spicer on his right foot as it popped up. Again, a bit of a short corner, but that means that it comes on this near side for Spicer, who takes it nicely on the half volley. Just can't get it a yard or so in towards goal to make it difficult for Freeze.
Big ball over the top, held up by Martinez. Another substitution here for Toronto, and after that injury, a pretty active and noticeable outing will end here for Charlie Sharp. Matty Longstaff will come in. And Sharp is going straight to the room, by the way.
Yeah, that's tough to see. As Sharp put himself about, lots of energy, had a couple of shooting chances. He'll be pleased with his debut, although he didn't really have a chance to get a great shooting opportunity away or score, obviously, but Longstaff will come in now as Insigne goes straight up top. Longstaff underneath of him. Toronto playing with 4 across the top right now.
Long hoping for Corbinu. Cavallo heads that down. Wolf able to win the battle with Kosi Thompson. For Wolf, nice touch ahead from Martinez, but he won't win the race to it, and then cuts down Rosted in the process, but no call. And it'll be New York City ball as they continue to chip away at the clock into the 89th minute. Once more for Wolf. Is there one more trip down the pitch here for Toronto? Won't be a ton of added time. Thompson getting filled with indecision on these throw-ins. Coelho on the one time. Get another throw though. Toronto's got to get working here. Already a minute since I last updated you. 90th minute underway here at BMO Field. Hoisted up. Insigne catches in stride. And gives it away. Trying to get it back for Coelho. Rosted intercepts a pass. Thompson, Longstaff, Coelho looking for the diagonal ball. Spicer, awkward collection, and then did it carry him off of him? It does. It's a New York City throw deep.
Not needed to connect there, though. It was such a good ball from Coelho, and Spicer needs to get that touch out in front of him, create a chance for the crossing opportunity. Ends up knocking off of him and into touch.
I stand corrected. There's a decent amount of added time presented by Audi. 6 minutes coming here at BMO Field. Longstaff, far post, Osorio looking for goal number 50 in his MLS career, and he couldn't get a touch.
Outstanding ball from Longstaff into the danger area, curling away from the keeper. There's a nice through ball there, opens things up, and Longstaff able to keep that away from Freeze with a curling effort. Corner kick opportunity now.
Osorio whipping one in with pace, and Rosted got a piece of it, but it came in with such velocity, hard to keep it down.
Perfect corner kick though from Jonathan Osorio, what he's been looking for here this afternoon in this second half. That's the connection, and Rosted maybe with that speed on the ball just can't adjust his feet there in his head, and he knocks it well wide.
So there was one chance. We wondered how many good looks Toronto would get to try to tie this match up. That was one. 5 minutes remaining. Is there another? Insigne swings one into the corner. Corbeanu won't get to it. Cavallo instead. Bounding in the middle. Longstaff from distance is blocked. Longstaff again. It's blocked once more. The desperation defense is there, but a big injury at the edge of the box on that second block as Longstaff got everything on it. And trying to grab a number.
A little nudge in the back there from Osorio, and then Longstaff back-to-back shooting efforts here. Well stood up on both occasions there, putting the block in. Justin Hack, just as he's done so often here this afternoon. No, it's not Hack who's on the ground. It's hard to see through the socks there.
There it is, it's Risa.
Risa, who's come into the game to solidify that back line, is the man who puts the block in. Terrific block. As Longstaff able to get a couple of really heavy strikes in behind the ball.
On the replay, it looked like it did catch part of the shoulder at the very least. It wasn't flush with the head, but clearly got a piece, and checking his mouth for damage. So he'll come off. In the meantime, they'll play on. 11v10 for a moment here for Toronto. Service back in, looking for Longstaff, quickly ejected by New York City. Coelho battles through into the corner. Will Corbeanu catch up? Not quite. That one past the byline. It's a goal kick for New York City. We have to assume now it will go beyond 96 minutes, given the hold up there on that injury. Freeze lays the ball down for the goal kick. Munsef Bakrar is coming on for New York City. And he'll be taking off Alonso Martinez at the nearest possibility. Risa, by the way, back into the match. So New York City at full strength in an attempt to defend this 1-0 lead. Thompson down the right side. Corbin. Looking to use his pace, but Cavallo, fresher legs, of course, as the substitute. Able to hold on. Martinez, last touch perhaps. Perea. Ball down the touchline. Well collected by Thompson. Tackled from behind. No call. And here comes New York City. Ball is ahead. Martinez. One last go. What a save by Johnson. The keeper doing everything he can to keep Toronto in it. And the flag is up. And the substitution will come on. What a stop.
That's a terrific stop from Hannes Wolf. And quickly back the other way. Nice ball in from Fernandez. And Martinez thinks he can go around Sean Johnson, who just sticks out that right hand to keep his side alive. Martinez with the last touch for him, the man who scored the only goal of this game. Ricard will come on. Ricard started the last game against New England, and he is the lone number 9 all up front now by himself as New York City will look to defend this. Kevin Long, the center back for Toronto, all the way up in the advanced position for TFC right now.
And Tavon Gray gets the booking as he takes down Spicer on the run.
Clever from Gray just to hold things up, allow every player in a light blue jersey to get back. It's a very, very high defensive line on this free kick. Difficult to put it into that spot with the wind here in between the back line.
Maybe a minute to go, maybe. After the injury here in added time, that ball gets all the way through. It's a goal kick for Freeze. We'll keep our eye on Pierre-Luc Lausier. New York City this close to a bounce-back victory. And a first road win of the season. Freeze loses that in the wind. And New York City has to concede the throw. Long, quick to leave that for Osorio. Osorio, no cross there. Here it is, stung in. Again, the ejections are hard right now. The wind just knocking it all down. The chip will sail off the foot of Thompson, and it's a goal kick for Matt Freeze, an opportunity lost.
No, not judged well at all there from Thompson. Needs to get under that, allow it to loft in the air with the big men forward. Kevin Long, allow him to get under that. Right idea to put it into the corner rather than straight back, but just puts far too much on it.
And this could be it. Whistle in the mouth, and that is it. New York City marches into BMO Field and will take the 3 points on a windy day by the lake.
Professional road performance from New York City. Not a lot of attacking flair, but took the opportunity when they could. Once again, Alonso Martinez kind of creates something out of nothing. But it's a very warranted 3 points for New York City as Toronto just struggled all day long to create anything offensively that troubled a stout New York City defensive backline.
3 points on the road for the first time this season on a full day of action here in Major League Soccer. And Alonso Martinez, the goal scorer. This is the player of the match. 16 goals a year ago, his 6th of the season created as he charges into the box.
And as he's had to do a number of times this season, takes it on his shoulders to create the chances for New York City, wins the penalty kick, finishes from the penalty spot, and that is the only goal of the game and our player of the match.
2 games just about to get underway elsewhere in Major League Soccer. Make sure you tune in on your MLS season pass. And lots more ahead and into the Eastern evening games on the West Coast as well. What a day on your MLS season pass. But it's 3 points for New York City as they adjust to the conditions and get their first road win of the season.
And Sean Johnson, who won a MLS Cup with New York City, speaking to some of his former teammates, he was the MVP of the final a Couldn't stop that man, though. Alonso Martinez. New York City walks away with all three.
Back with the full-time highlights when we come back.
By Super Hydration Body Wash. The sweet scent of a honeymoon in Fiji. Moisturize with vitamin B3.
You better not be using all the Old Spice.
Ooh, can you get my bag?
Fast as an hour with express delivery. Welcome to your Walmart.
You ready? MLS is game on. Don't you? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends on. Rivalries on.
Versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
We about to level up. That supersonic I never see. Got the pins in the back, all eyes on me. I'm too fast, got hot speed. That supersonic I never see. Got the pins in the back, all eyes on me. We about to level up.
This is the new Star of the Seas. Book your vacation today.
Welcome to this year's championship game. This is the big one.
With Amex Gold, you can score 4 times points on restaurants around the world. So you can raise the bar on game night. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Back inside a windy BMO Field after a 1-0 victory for New York City over TFC. And a valuable 3 points on the road for the boys in blue as they go north of the border. And they get the valuable 3 points. The match highlights are presented by the powerful backing of American Express. It's been a rivalry in years gone by. Both sides just worried about the 3 points, though, for the most part. And some chances very early on as they adjust. Bakosi Thompson with the early second half save.
What a phenomenal clearance from Thompson, who reads the situation so well. As Wolf thinks he's found the first goal of the game, but Thompson in behind his goalkeeper, able to head clear. And then the penalty decision, which in the end I think was the right call. It seemed very harsh at the time, but Thompson comes in from behind. The plant foot is the right foot of Martinez. Thompson clips it. Martinez dispatches 3 penalty kick attempts this year. 2 for 3 now after finishing that one. The opening goal, the only goal. Martinez, very good from the spot. And he had another strong game this afternoon. But late in the game, with Toronto pressing forward, Sean Johnson had to make a really nice save here as Martinez again set this one up for Wolf. And then it came back and cleared away eventually. Good ball in from Fernandez for Wolf. And Johnson made one more save late as Toronto continued to press.
The possession was there in large part for Toronto, but really had trouble creating the 5-alarm opportunities that necessitated getting back into this match for the full 3 points. And in the end, expected goals was in Toronto's favor. Remember, after 45 minutes, New York City walks away with that advantage as well. Shots on target well in their favor. That's that final third that we were talking about, Dolly. They just couldn't get that final ball to get that massive chance. 4-1 shots on target. And one of the beasts in the middle all afternoon was Keaton Parks of New York City.
decent performance. Obviously great to get 3 points on the road. That's always difficult, and we really needed it. We really need this momentum going back home now. But I still think we can do better. We have a lot to work on this week.
You play a lot with Johnny Shore today. What can you say about you making him better, actually?
Keaton Parks with his thoughts on the importance of the 3 points on the road, and really just such a steadying presence there in the midfield.
He is. He's very good in that central midfield position, especially alongside the youngster Jonathan Shore. And today you saw his ability to keep the ball in tight spaces as well. I agree with what he said. They need more. They need to develop more. Both sides here today showed that they're still a long way away from the finished article, but Keaton Park's a big part of the building project at New York City.
And again, incoming help in the midfield as well at the end of the transfer deadline as well. The season is in full swing, and so are the prizes for MLS Pick'em. Make your picks each week for a chance to win big. All you have to do is scan the QR code and play now. New York City prevailing on a difficult, blustery day, but the difference makers made the difference. Alonso Martinez, the lone goal, and a 1-0 win.
In 64, when everyone else tried to win on the straights, we won on the corners. Bending, swerving, blowing the bloody doors off. Floor it to your local mini dealer for unrivaled offers today.
Julie needs tires. But to Julie, buying tires feels about the same as getting robocalls. Annoying. Don't answer that call, Julie. Discount Tire presents Treadwell. With just a few clicks, Treadwell analyzes millions of data points and delivers personalized results to you. Simple. Easy. Finally, you have someone who cares.
Let's get you taken care of.
AT&T has a new guarantee because not everything in life is guaranteed. Don't sweat it. Get our best deals on smartphones like iPhone 16 Pro on us with your choice of our best plans. That's the AT&T guarantee. And right now, trade in your iPhone any year, any condition, and get up to $1,000 towards your new iPhone.
If I was a flower grown wild and free, all I wanted you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree grown tall and green, all I wanted you to shade me and be my If you were a wink, I'd be a nod. If you were a seed, well, I'd be a pod. If you were a floor, I'd want to be a rug. And if you were a kiss, I know I'd be a hug.
Refresh your energy with zero sugar. Essential vitamins